It is Wednesday, November 8th, 2023, and today is our weekly cult meeting, Wizard Wednesday. I have a pro tip for you right away. When in doubt, talk to Alberto. He knows everything except how to make the servers not crash. But everything else, he knows.
I
Channeling
can't
in
even
from the
find
Quantum
Alberto half
Downs,
time.
this is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul, and joining me preemptively is...
Your best friend, the orange puppet Dotta.
And the shape-shifting MF and Bear. We got a video game, people!
It's finally out. Who else?
Let's
We got a
go!
couple other speakers. Let's let them.
Yeah, I was going to say, who else do we have up here?
Come on. Don't be shy.
Jitsi, Maddow.
Can you guys hear me? Is my mic coming
There
through?
you are.
Your friendly neighborhood kobold here as always.
Hey.
What up?
What up, y'all? We got Flu and Tanila's connecting.
Hey, guys, always expect a response. We're a cult, bro. We're going to show up. We're going to onboard people. We're going to stream. We're going to be fucking passionate about this game, bro. Expect a larger response, bro. I'm calling my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, all my former friends, all my former enemies, everybody, every last motherfucker on earth. I'm gonna get them in here to play Forgotten Runiverse. Let's go. We like it.
Let's go. Pump those servers.
We're gonna have to get some new music, some new intro music, because this generic elevator vibe is not doing it for me.
Yeah.
No, isn't that the Runiverse? I thought that was the Runiverse music.
No, that's the default music on Twitter Spaces.
That's like the Twitter default music. Yeah.
I wanted to use the Runiverse music, but it's crashing like right when I started this space. But yeah, I mean, that brings me to actually something I wanted to say right away, which is I don't think I'm going to be able to use copywritten music anymore. We got a strike on our YouTube channel, lost an episode, so I'm going to be much more careful about that.
Was the Dayman song?
I don't remember which one it was.
There's a lot of public domain music though that's super good, so I'll help you find some tracks. We'll find some good stuff.
Yeah. And then just speaking of the YouTube channel, we're trying to clean it up, and I don't know if anybody has been there lately, but I updated the thumbnails. I think Maddow shared one just the other day. The thumbnails are pretty ridiculous, and honestly, they were inspired by the cult. The cult has shared a lot of really fun AI-generated images of me, Bear, and Dotta. And I always thought, like, God, we look weird. And then I realized that that's great for a YouTube thumbnail. Like, for anyone who doesn't know who we are, they're just going to see that and think, that's really weird. Maybe I should click on it. So yeah, go to our YouTube channel, check it out. We upload all Wizard Wednesdays there. But we're not going to use copywritten music anymore.
Yeah, looking good.
Yep. I think we're probably going to talk about the Runiverse game all day today. But before we get on that, Bear, did you want to just mention something about the comic? Bear, you're muted.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said so. I just dropped some gold just now, but I don't remember, so I'll have to start over. So the comic book issue number 1 pre-sales went really well. Those pre-sales, so all the comics that everybody ordered will be hitting stores November 22nd. And if you remember correctly, those copies come with a $20 like $20 worth of like in-game items. So that's exciting. So remember to keep a lookout for your orders. They should be coming soon. And issue number 2 is now properly on pre-sale as well. As we talked about a couple months ago, once you start dropping a comic series, you really have to hit this like once a month cadence. So we're going to do the first 5 in a bunch. And so issue number 2 is on sale. We put, I think the main account tweeted out today links. That too, we have decided to add Runiverse game codes in as well. because I think it was really received well, not just by the cult, but by like non-Web3 people, just people sort of finding out about Forgotten Runes. So check that out. We'll promote it a couple more times. And yeah, we have a big announcement. I think that's going to come out next week. The punches are going to keep on rolling, and I think y'all are going to be really excited. It's either next week or the week after, but I think it's probably one of the biggest things you can announce when it comes to sort of metaverses and 3D and interoperability. So keep a lookout.
You know what's really funny is when you say that, I actually am not even sure which announcement you're talking about.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, what are you even talking about?
I like to keep you guys on your toes.
We're not even a week out from our like Halloween event with Improbables 2, though. So like I've already forgotten that. So I'm sure it's something that we know.
You can't stop me. You can't stop me.
Yeah.
We're just shipping too much.
Yeah, we care
Making
too
deals,
much.
baby.
Work too hard.
Okay, and then I hope a lot of people saw the Runiverse live stream yesterday. Our good friend Matto hosted that. Matto, what did you think of that live stream? I thought it was really great.
Yeah, I thought it was wonderful. We had actually a really good turnout. I'll try to get the exact number, but I know we had over 1,000 people joining. Quite a large number of people viewed it. So
I thought we had like a crazy amount of streams.
Yeah, we had a crazy amount. I don't have the number in front of me right now, but we had a huge amount of people show up. So very excited. Thank you everybody for joining in and showing support. Got to show people early on how the game was, and it seems like it worked pretty well because there was a huge influx of people crashing our servers. Our servers already crashed like 3 times already in the day from the influx of people coming in, but they're up now, by the way.
Oh, they are
great.
Yeah, I'm gonna refresh and join back in.
And then yeah, yesterday, so we had Adam Hollander and Sobi, and Justin, who I see up here, took part in that live stream. Justin, how was did you have fun yesterday?
Yo, yesterday was incredible. I was just so quiet because I was just ogling all the pixel environments, and now that we're actually in it with everybody else, it's wild because I think I saw so many people in the community just walking around in different dungeons, and they're like, "Oh, do you want to join my party?" And then I would bug out, and like the game would crash, and I wouldn't be able to join them. And I'm like, "Oh no!" But yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Personally, I love it. I love it.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah, what's up?
Justin, do you want to join my party?
If you can catch me in the I'm in the bug area with the big spiders.
Yeah, dude, I haven't been able to log in for long enough time to like get to that specific area, but yeah.
You know what's crazy to me? Guys? Like 2 years ago, we're talking about release sprite sheets so the original pixelated characters can walk around. We're in World Wide Web, right? And then finally, a couple of months ago, we released 3D Warriors or 3D Wizards, and now 3D Souls. Last week, we're running around with our 3D Wizards in like a sick ass Unreal Engine, like real-time browser-based thing, like running mazes. And then this week, people are walking around in the Runiverse as their pixelated characters. I mean, what the freak is going on?
What is going on?
This is what we always wanted. This is what we always talked about. It's actually happening.
This is what 2 years of building does.
Somebody said, well, we mentioned this last week. Someone said they're like, you guys just had the cliche NFT playbook, but you're actually delivering on it. So I'll take that as a compliment.
Dude, totally. I remember we were in a space like 6 months ago, and a bunch of projects were in there just chilling and talking about what they were doing. And I remember one guy in there just derisively said, yeah, a lot of these projects think they're going to build some big fantasy MMO, and we all know that's bullshit. And I was like, we're building a fantasy MMO.
Bro.
And they're just like, yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Bearsnake? You remember the one that y'all went to with LARP Boy?
Yeah, you're the one who set us up. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was fucking dude. I hated that guy. I fucking hated that guy.
Dude, we sent the internet after him and destroyed him.
Dude, I literally wanted him to show his hand, and like y'all were perfect for it. And did I set you up? Maybe a little bit. But like the absolute call out that was able to happen past that point was just so worth it, bro.
He was DMing me. I remember he was DMing me. He's like, I know Bisonic, I know Maxim, I know Christina. I'm DMing her right now. She has no idea who you are, and I'm like, this guy is straight up crazy. And then I like, and then I'm talking to the CEO of Bisonic. Anyway, that guy was an insane person.
I had so much fun. I'm sorry, bro. I had so much fucking fun. I thought it was awesome. The people that I was working with, though, they got mad at me and they like didn't renew my contract for the next month.
Oh no!
Because they were like, we don't really want any more drama with NFT projects, and like that was my hookup through Amazon. So I was just like, hey, that's kind of a shitty thing to happen, but also it was 100% worth it.
Wow, sorry, dude.
Yeah, Model here from Bisonic. I have never heard of Forgotten Runes. I don't know what you guys are
Yeah.
talking about.
What the?
There is no Runiverse game. I don't know what you guys mean. Like, what? Bisonic's never worked with Magic Machine.
Matto, I gotta tell you, I loved the voice you were using the other day. I know
Thank you.
other people might have felt differently, but I just want to tell you, I loved it.
I got a lot of positive reception from it. I
Okay.
tested it out first. So last week I was like testing out my stream setup, like maybe like over the weekend, and I was testing it out on a different platform, Sanko, for like just doing some streaming and playing some games. I got some pretty positive reception from it. So I was like, all right, it seems like it's good to go.
Yeah.
It's definitely going for more like the VTuber crowd in terms of like with the voice I'm picking and like and the character that I'm playing and such. But it's a valid crowd to go after. There's a lot of people who like that content.
Madatsuki, I have a Sanko. I'm number 7 top on Sanko right now.
Really?
Sanko.
I was number 10 on the most streamed, and then after the event, I got bumped down. So sad. I can do more, but I've been working too much on Runiverse to stream some more.
I'm actually looking. I'm doing an AMA soon with the team, the lead dev over there at Sanko. So if you wanted to come to that, I'll DM you.
Sure. I'll come.
Yeah, all you have to do is fucking follow me back, douchebag. I own your fucking
I'll follow
tickets.
you back, and I'll
All right, Flu, you guys are about to get kicked off stage. Let's see. You guys shut up for a second. Let's get the show going.
Okay. Well, we got a few questions in the Secret Tower, mostly around the Runiverse game, of course. And Chuck K has a pretty big question, actually. It's about the rings. Let me see if I can just shorten this question. So he's asking about the ring sale. He's basically wondering if limiting the supply was a good idea or not, because it sort of made an unnecessary rush, and then there was a pump on secondary. Yeah, I mean, everybody can see his question in the Secret Tower, but Dotta, I mean, do you want to talk about just the ring minting and why we went with the numbers we went with?
Well, the first reason would be something like nobody wanted to mint NFTs when we started planning this drop 30 days ago or whatever it was, right? That like, I mentioned this in sales chat that we went from everyone being like, nobody wants to mint NFTs, don't do a mint, like we're over NFTs, NFTs are dead, to like the supply wasn't big enough, and by the way, your price was too low, like within 30 days. So I think that's the first reason, is that you basically have to write these contracts and set the ship in motion a month ahead of time, right? Because everybody wants to know, what's the mint price, what's the supply, what are the tokenomics, right? And so first things first is really like the market literally just thawed out like yesterday, right? Or like over the last week. So the second part is I think even then, I think that it's not good to have a gas war, right? Like, I think that's an important part. But at the same time, I think we're definitely not looking to like take a lot of liquidity out of the market. I think it's important that we kind of like have a drop that has some heat on it, that has some life on it, right? Like, is even if you're on the outside and you didn't get one of the rings, I think everyone can kind of appreciate that it's a bit better for the attention for the game. That's not like all of a sudden all the rings are under mint price. Everybody hates that, right? Everyone hates it when it drops under mint price. So I'm actually like pretty happy with Bisonic's decision to do a lower supply. Maybe we could do better in terms of not having a gas war, particularly for holders, right? There's the ways to solve that, but yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right with it. I mean, basically
it takes months to plan a mint. and you get everything settled, and then the market just shifts under your feet like 2 days before the mint.
Yeah, I think it was actually in July that we were planning, because we were initially planning on this, I think in September for a launch. So, and then we kind of pushed back because we got a lot of feedback internally that maybe there's some stuff that we need to kind of like polish up a bit more. And we felt like it probably needed a bit more time baking. So this mint was actually planned quite a long time ago. And it was when sentiment was very low. You know, everybody was kind of like in down because, you know, NFTs were down, the market was down in general. And almost like the start of this, like almost the start of this month, like the end of last month is when things really started picking up. And we already had like our whole plan and everything set in motion.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think it's okay. Like, I think it's okay to have something that has like some heat on it. It's good for the project to have a token drop that does well, right? Like, I think everyone who's been in NFTs long enough can kind of see that, like, okay, maybe you didn't get one, and like, I want everyone to have one, but like, the attention comes to projects where people want them, and if you make the supply too high, like, if everyone gets one who wants one, like, what happens to the floor? Everyone knows what happens to the floor, and like the requisite sort of like feelings and demand as a consequence, right? So I'm like sort of fine with it, though would like to minimize everyone's pain, basically.
Also,
I think you minimized people's pain this morning. The gas refund for the failed stuff was awesome. I think it actually went off relatively well for as many problems as happened. And I'm not going to play devil's advocate here because it was a pretty good and efficiently handled set of problems. There's a lot of teams that would have crumbled under that, or like freaked out, or delayed mint, or cut, like whatever. So I think that all things being considered, it was not the worst thing to have happened.
Right. And I think even with the hiccup that we had midway in, it still managed to go all the way up until the second tier where it pretty much instantly minted out. So I think most people who were kind of paying attention to the mint and jumping in, you know, they had a pretty decent chance of jumping in and getting at it. And honestly, the ring mint is meant more to be kind of like a cherry on top for this event rather than, like, you know, the main course. The main course is playing the game, earning the quantum gifts, and earning the land tenures. Those are still available in game, and it's still a wonderful like opportunity for everybody to play in. The rings aren't meant to be like kind of this overpowered item that you need in order to play the game or progress further. So, you know, they're just kind of like cool collector's items that are meant to be very limited and exclusive. So
That's right. It's a collector's item that helps you with this week, right? And then gives you some advantages that carry over. But like, I think what you said is an important point, which is like the full half hour for Wizards like ran, right? And okay, yes, there was maybe 8 to 10 minutes in there where we were having trouble with the contract, but like for the most part, if you were a Wizard holder and you wanted one of these rings, you had the opportunity to mint one from your wallet. Like by the end, in the last 5 minutes, it wasn't like all the Wizard holding wallets were like minting out the remainder of the supply. It wasn't until we got to the Warriors in the community phase. So I do feel like it was appropriately sized for basically for Wizard holders.
We've got another question about the rings. Virgilus the Sorcerer is asking, now that the utility of the rings has been revealed, can you expand on whether the Athenaeum rings will have similar utility? Yeah, so the Athenaeum rings are not connected to this. There may be future ways that the Athenaeum items are connected to the Runiverse game, but really the Athenaeum items, like from day one, their main purpose is just like a storytelling, I guess, like prop. Although Magic Machine is coming up with a lot of fun ways to use them for in future utilities. But yeah, they're not really
I have
connected to the Runiverse
plans.
game.
I have plans for Athenaeum items. We just got to get to it.
Yep. And then okay, and then Bill Gaines has a fun general question. He's basically asking, how is the team handling all the stress from the launch? Tanilo, are you with us?
I am.
Tanilo, how are you handling the stress from the launch?
Are you alive, Tanilo?
I'm a cool cucumber over here. I'm just like, oh, not my circus,
I'm
not my
alive.
monkeys.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of stress, right? Like, because it's like you only get to really stress test servers when you're at this, right? So we had some technical issues where we valued like how much we would need to boost our servers. So we're working on improving that, and it's a lot of stress. Like it makes you nervous. It's something that we've been working on for 2 years. So it's like we really want to show people like something that we're proud of, right? And the stream yesterday was super fun, where it was like, I think you can really see the foundations of a game that is really entertaining. We're working on pushing to have a build that works on mobile as well. So I don't know, a lot of exciting things. Very stressful days. I'm a little tired, but it's going. It's going.
Well, you said you wanted to show something to everyone that you were proud of, and you absolutely should be proud of what was put out today. I mean, I think everyone understands that it's a pre-alpha, but I think getting a game to this level where you have like hundreds of players coming together, you're able to craft, you're able to battle, the art is beautiful, like the mechanics are thought through. I think you absolutely should be proud of it. I think from my perspective, I completely understand that it's an early version, and I think almost everyone does too. So yeah, you've done such a great job.
Thanks. Like it's good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah, Tanilo, I am also enjoying it. I grinded up to level 4 today, and it's just been a blast. And all the comments in the Secret Tower I'm seeing are all pretty good, except for the crashes, but that's totally to be expected.
Yeah, but like it's it's a real MMO when servers crash every couple of minutes. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're right.
yeah, I
Jitsi
understand,
said
yeah.
something similar today.
Yeah.
Like Jitsi,
Yeah.
what did you say about crashes today? Did we lose Jitsi?
No, I'm here. Sorry, I just had to unlock my phone. No, I was saying how every single MMO, almost ever in existence of MMOs, has always crashed on day one. Like that's an indicator that your MMO is like on the right path. So yeah, I completely agree.
Yep. Tanilo, I actually have a lore question for you, and this actually comes from Oz. He asked it yesterday during the stream. Oz and kind of everybody wants to know, who is Alberto? Can you tell us about him?
Spoilers. Yeah, no, that's a read and find out. It's coming.
Okay, so there's more to Alberto beyond just drinking coffee and giving a tutorial.
Yeah, there's a lot more. Yeah. And
Okay.
of course, in this build, because of the nature of the build, where in terms of lore it's still very like minimal, there's not more that can be revealed about Alberto, but he'll be an important figure.
Interesting.
He's a cool customer. He's just hanging out there sipping coffee. He's brooding.
Yeah, and he's actually we actually went through multiple iterations of Alberto. So yeah, but he's an important character in the Runiverse. Let's say that he hides more than you could imagine in terms of his role in the affairs of the world.
Fun. I think that a lot of people minted the rings this morning because they are excited about something new. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the mechanics, because as much as like you've been over it because you designed it, we as a team have read the blog posts, right? But I think that there's actually probably plenty of people who are here listening, and either they don't have a ring, or probably plenty of people who do have a ring that actually really don't even completely understand what the ring gives them. So maybe we could talk through the benefits of the ring and the NFT, and what's the difference between the rings, and what do you use them for, and explain the game a little bit more.
Okay, so the core loop in this game is very straightforward. The idea is that you get this tutorial, and after that you go into these wild areas where you encounter enemies and a couple of NPCs that give you very simple quests. Collect these things, and they give you recipes. By the way, if anyone is having trouble with that, we're collecting a form to allocate rewards that weren't given out. I think we're having some server issues on that side. But that's like the core loop. It's go out, get materials, recipes, inscribe them, craft those items. There's a chance when you craft an item that it rolls perfect, that it rolls a perfect result. And when you do that, you earn a quantum gift depending on the rarity of the item. So that's one side of the aisle where you can get quantum gifts. And then the other is the font of memory, where you can spend mana to roll for either quantum gifts or plots. And the rings give you benefits in both sides of the aisle. For the crafting of items, you can use mana infusion, so you can spend mana to improve your odds of getting a good item when you're crafting it. And if you have a ring, the cost of that is a lot cheaper. So you can infuse items more often to get a better result. That's on the side of items. And on the side of the font of memory, where you ask for blessings, you get a small discount of mana, so it becomes cheaper to access those rare rewards. Because every 250 rolls, you get a guaranteed seal of tenure, which will earn you a plot once the game is close to release. And then the rings also have a mechanic. You can access the rings in your account inventory, which is on the top left corner of the screen. And you can tap those rings to extract mana every certain amount of time. And that mana you can spend either in crafting to create items, or you can use it in the font of memory to ask for blessings.
Incredible. Flu, you got a question? You have your hand raised?
Yeah, that's a rarity, by the way. But yeah, no, the question that I had was about the land plots. Is there any sort of mechanism to keep like one dedicated player from scooping up like 20 plots of land or something, or is it just like all RNG based?
It's all RNG based, right? It's getting lucky in the gacha or rolling enough times that you get the guaranteed reward that we have. But I think we have enough available so that it won't be like one player scoops them all kind of situation.
Okay, and second, I guess a second part of that is that if I don't think that you have the premium currency purchasing yet, so it's not like people can just like pay to win the land, right? Is that correct?
You can go to the store, right? You can go to the store and buy mana, but you can also earn mana by creating items.
Right. All right, awesome. Thank you.
And yeah, just in case, there's a building called the Temple that is not initially available. It becomes available once you complete the first quest, which is talk to a red NPC at the beginning of Area 1, defeat the cockatrice and come back. And after that, you unlock the temple, where you can offer items that you've created to earn mana.
Okay, Tennille, I'm looking at the secret tower. By the way, if anyone has any questions, you can put it in the secret tower. I'm looking, or you can just come up here on the space and ask. But Critical is asking, and I'm not sure how to answer this. So for the minted gifts, there are numbers 1 through 5 on them. What do the numbers mean? Do you know?
They each contain a different item, right? So there's like 5, like in total, there's 10 of each type. 10 different, so there's 10 different mounts that we'll have that are exclusive to the people who play this event. 10 different mounts, 10 different familiars, 10 different building styles, and 10 different equipment styles that will be exclusive to the people who have those gifts.
So the numbers 1 through 5 refer to the styles of each of those gifts, is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Got
so
it.
There's 5 common mounts, there's 3 uncommon, like there's 5 bronze mounts, 3 silver mounts, 2 gold mounts to be obtained.
Man, I can't wait to get a mount. I think everybody's excited about the mounts. I'm going to go ahead and ask, are the ponies one of the mountains?
I can't say.
Okay.
And also there's something important is that just for playing this Eve of Memory event and completing the tutorial, you're getting 2 of those quantum gifts for free, right? And those don't count towards the limit that we have. So it's more like if you're an early supporter, just by going into the build and playing, you're already getting those for free.
Got it.
Can you explain that one more time?
That when you do the tutorial, throughout the tutorial, you earn 2 quantum gifts for free. So it's just by completing the tutorial, supporting the game, by playing that early stage, you're getting 2 quantum gifts, and those will stay in the release of the game.
Oh, got it. Okay, so then the quantum gifts are like you get a familiar, for example, is one of the quantum gifts, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you say one more time, like describe the quantum gifts a little bit more? I mean, I know that you already touched on them, but
yeah, they contain unique cosmetic rewards that won't be obtainable anywhere else in the game, right? So like just by getting these, you get these exclusive items that you'll never see that will never become obtainable again.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. That's great. So one of the other things that I think
So to give you an example,
Yes.
the architectural styles you see in the build, there's like this 10 star, the forge, the workshop. When you build on your plot a forge or a workshop, you could use one of those unique architectural styles to build that one, right?
Yep. That's amazing. Yep.
So it's like it's something that says like, oh, this is a special forge to the guy who played it from the beginning. And I think that's pre-built.
And then explain how the multi-chain works with regards to being like on and off chain. Because I think that I saw people minting mana on both Arbitrum and ETHL1. Is that right?
Yes. So you can get mana either on the Ethereum chain or on the Arbitrum chain.
Okay.
It's available on both.
Got it. And then what about the packs? Like the quantum gifts.
So quantum gifts you get by spending mana in the font of memory or by crafting perfect items, right?
Okay. Yep.
So I don't know. For example,
And then
getting bronze quantum gifts by crafting is relatively common. It's like around a 1 in 10 chance that you get one. But like by crafting to get a gold one, it's really, really rare, right? Like
so
I got two, I think.
Craft and I get a quantum gift. And then when does that actually become like an NFT on chain? Does that happen immediately or
No.
or do you have to choose to do that?
You have to choose to do that, right?
Okay.
And those are minted on the Arbitrum chain. So you go into your account inventory, again, top right, top left corner, and then you select it and you click mint.
Okay, amazing.
And it gets minted to the wallet that you
connected. And then if you want to buy or sell on Arbitrum, you can do that. This is great. I'm going to need to put together a tweet storm of this because I think this is the first time even I'm understanding it to this detail.
Yeah, Nico26 is asking clarification on how to trade and sell gifts on Arbitrum, but I think you just answered it. You have to basically designate that you want to put it on the open market before you can trade it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. And then so let's say that I invite my cousin or whatever who doesn't have a wallet. They play the game, they go through the tutorial, they get 2 quantum gifts. Then they want to put it on chain. Do they have to have ETH in their Arbitrum wallet to put it on chain, or is that something that we pay the gas for?
That technical part, I'm not the one to ask.
Okay, it's fine.
I think we have to ask Jordan, but like that one, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but we can find out.
Yeah, I just ask Jordan, and I'm sure he'll have an answer right away.
Okay, here's a tricky question from Rye Game Seller. Can we mint all of the gifts that we've earned together as one transaction, or do we have to do them all individually?
They're all done individually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, one other thing, and I'm not sure if you even know this, Tanilla, but we were talking about the in-game items you get with the comic book purchase. Nalgene, thank you for reminding me. One of the in-game items is a firework mount, because that plays into the story of the comic book. So just heads up, I thought that was really cool, and it's like totally thematic with the story in the comic book.
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
Awesome. That is like, to me, that's like a moment for our project, right? Where all of these different things come together, right? Some like the wizard has his firework rocket, which then gets written into the book of lore, and then we actually have a reason to kind of give someone a rocket mount, and then you can actually use it in the game, and then that's also part of the story in the comic, right?
I mean, that's insane. That's like that's the dream. Yeah.
It's decentralized world building. Okay, Big Guap 69 is asking, can I have 2 rings and use them both in one wallet?
I even know the answer to that. That the answer is yes. That the mana stats.
The answer is
yes,
right? But the answer is yes with an asterisk, the bonuses, the discount bonuses don't stack, but the mana does. So you can keep tapping both for mana, but you won't get additional discount benefits.
What does that mean to
There you
tap
go.
for mana? You have to come in each day and you actively click the button?
Yeah, because we want something that kept players engaged in the game, right? Like, so you're
I love
gonna
it.
have
Yep.
this ring, and like that's a design choice on our side where it's like we don't want to give you this passive thing. It's like you have to go into the game, right? Like to encourage people that bought the rings to play the game, to test it out.
I love
And
it.
that's
Yep.
something that's a personal decision that I thought was important, right?
Yeah, I
Not
agree.
make it so that
So
the
somebody
rings are part of the engagement to the build.
So somebody tell Dingaling that he's got to log in and tap whatever 50 rings or whatever he just bought this morning.
And I've shared a screenshot of this. I'm gonna leave it in the FAQ so that like we have a screenshot of like the process to tap a ring. It's very simple actually. Like it takes you like 30 seconds once you're in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, people are asking, how do you claim daily mana from the ring? How do you tap? Can you walk us through it audibly just for people who are listening?
Yes, and I'm sharing on the Forgotten Runes Runiverse Discord. I'm sharing an image.
Yep.
That's like a small guide. I'm sharing it in the announcements just so that everyone has it.
Okay, great.
At here, how to tap a ring for mana. But the steps are very simple. Like once you're in the overworld, I didn't do it correctly. I'm trying to share an image, but it's not letting me. Oh,
I see that.
So
you add here message to everyone without the image.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
without the image. But I just shared the image, and the idea is that you open your account inventory, you click on the ring, and the ring has a button that says tap for mana. You tap
Okay.
it gets added to your account.
Incredible.
If anyone has,
And the hotkey for that, by the way, is L, because there's a regular inventory that's just for your character, and there's your account inventory that's tied to your entire account, and everybody shares that inventory. So that's the L button that opens that inventory.
yeah, mana is shared across all characters, right? So if you earn some mana with one character and you create a new character, want to try a different build, whatever, mana is shared. Did it work?
So it sounds like
I have
hotkey
another.
is the way.
So I have another question. The one of the things that like I want people to understand a bit better is like how the wizard gold system will work when the full game comes and you're like building infrastructure on your land. Can you talk about that a little bit, like with the structure that you build and how that works?
So basically, and this is an important decision that was made like halfway through the development of the entire gameplay cycle, was at first we thought of land, and there was a lot of discussion of how do we make owners tax users of their land, right? Like that was the word used for a very long time. But there was something that rubbed me the wrong way in terms of using the word tax, right? Because it immediately puts owners in a position of power versus regular users. And so it started to shift towards synergy. How do I build synergy between owners and users? And the system we came up with is that owners get additional benefits for the number of people that use their land, that use their buildings, right? Buildings, land, and in the case of wizards, the world, right? So it's like depending on the amount of gold that is moved in the economy, we have like it's not a percentage of it that is debited, but it's like it calculates a certain percentage of that, and then it puts it into a pool, and then it splits it across all of the wizard users. So basically, what it's saying is that you are benefiting from the economy growing, right? But it's not like you're competing with the economy just by being a wizard, right? It's more like you're benefiting if the economy does well.
Amazing. Yes. So, well, that is part of how the land benefits you if you're a landowner. But one of the things that was in the white paper was this idea that not only will you get the general benefits of a landowner, but also wizards specifically will be able to build a structure on the land, which then acts as a sort of like a way to earn a fraction of the gold from the economy.
Yeah. And it's again systems that are designed to make it so that you engage with the game, right? It's not like a passive thing. It's
Right.
something that you have to be engaged with the game and able to benefit from it.
Yep. Very cool. Very cool. Well, does anyone else have any other questions for Tanilo? Yeah.
So Nico26 has another really good question, and I'm not sure if you can talk about this yet, Tanilo, but he's asking about the end game. Most MMOs have like story mode, but then once you're done with that, then there's the whole end game, like dungeon raiding and gear grinding. Can you talk about the end game?
Okay, so we're planning a release of the game that is like in steps, right? And so our plan is that our first, because we want to release the game in an early access that progressively expands. And so the first part of the end game will be specializing your character into different directions. But the final end game, once the game is out, is you'll have dungeons, and dungeons will have an omen system. The omen system is very similar to, for example, the heat system in Hades, where you have handicaps and boons that you can apply to the dungeon to run it at the maximum level, which is level 50. And so the idea is like, just like Hades does, there's like a tape, like a leaderboard of people who are completing it at the highest hit. We would have with the highest amount of omens, right? And so the end game is like trying to beat these dungeons with like the hardest omens, which are you start every combat with slow, or you have poison throughout the dungeon, etc., etc. The enemies are 5 levels higher. Stuff like that, where it's like you're putting handicaps on yourself and it's trying to beat the dungeon at the highest difficulty.
So, a follow-up question I have is, can you explain like mana infusing a little bit, right? So we've got a question from Orbis where he's got a comfy hood. It's blue. It's common headgear, and it says, the description is a form-fitting hood that won't get in the way. And there's basically a like a box on it where you can check to say mana infused with a 12 next to it, and then he's able to click forward. Can you talk about like what that mana infusing is, what that number means, and what happens when you mana infuse?
Okay, so mana infuse mechanically, what it's doing, it's removing the lowest 40% of possible results from the item, right? So I gave an example in the Forgotten Runiverse Discord where you have an item that gives you, I don't know, +1 to 10% strength. If you mana infuse it, you would guarantee the item would be guaranteed from 5 to 10% strength, right? So you're basically nullifying the lowest end results. And this is especially valuable when you're crafting like rarer items, because rarer items have more affixes. So the chances of getting a perfect one are lower. So using mana infusion really increases your chances of getting a perfect item.
So
and getting a perfect item will net you a quantum gift.
Ooh. Okay, wait. Okay, let me come back to that for a second. When I forge an item, the kind of stats are baked into that item, right?
Okay, so let's say the comfy hood, right? The comfy hood is a headgear which comes with one random support affix. What that means is that random support affix will be extracted from a pool of affixes that come from the material. So depending on the materials you use, the pool of affixes that you can get will differ, right? So if you use rare materials, for example, you'd get like better affixes. For this build, for now, we don't have a lot.
Can you give me an example of like a couple of affixes?
So, for example, there's, I don't know, a low level affix would give you 1 to 10 strength, right? Very simple, straightforward. A high level affix would give you, while you're under 50% health, you gain haste and empower.
And is there names like lore names to the affixes?
Yes.
Well, like what are a couple of the names, just so we can have a mental model?
Let me just look them up. I don't want to
Yeah,
butcher.
yeah. But the idea is that so when you forge this comfy hood, there is a set of possible affixes that might happen, and
Yeah.
those affixes are kind of ranked. And
Yes.
if you mana infuse it, the worst ones are sort of taken off the list,
No.
which means you have a
No.
better chance for creating a better one. Is that right?
No. In this build, which affix you get doesn't change with the mana infusion,
Okay.
but which result you get when you roll that affix does. So every affix, or like 95% of the affixes that are in this build, have random results attached to them, right? So you'd have something like Ferocious, gain 20 to 30% strength and 10 to 20% might. An example. Those random results get improved when you mana infuse the item.
Okay. So can I ask you a question? When if I have an item that you says gives you between 20 and 30%, strength, when I forge it, does that fix to a number like 25?
Yeah.
Or is it
exactly.
okay, so fix to 25. But then even when when I'm in a battle, there's still some randomness to its effect, or no, or it's always like exactly 25.
No, it's always the exact. And in this build, it's
Okay,
always the
got it.
exact. Because eventually we'll add a little bit more randomness in damage results and stuff like that.
Yep.
Right now, everything is very, very straightforward, right? Like,
Yep.
the calculations are very straightforward. But like, to give you an example, just from testings that I was doing, I created 20 common items without mana infusion, and I got no quantum gifts, right? So you got 1 in 10,
Right.
I never got one. And when I did it by mana infusing all 20, I got 3 common quantum gifts. So it does make a difference in the amount of quantum gifts that you can earn.
Okay, so what does it mean to craft a perfect item again? Like you described it, but like explain that to me again.
It's when whatever affix was attached to it rolls its maximum possible result. So if it's 21 to 30% strength, if it rolled 30% strength, that affix is perfect. And if an item has all of its affixes perfect, then it's a perfect item and it gives you a quantum gift as a reward.
Got it. And will those quantum gifts, is that something that's going to be in the final version of the game, or that's just for this time frame?
No. Those, like whatever you find in game in terms of quantum gifts or seals of tenure, which are the vouchers that say you own a plot, those will persist until the final game.
Got it. Yep. Great.
So I want to step back a second. This release is pre-alpha, which means there's obviously going to be bugs and stuff, and just other improvements made. And what's really great about it is everyone who plays will be able to submit requests and questions and comments. And like one thing I'm seeing is in the Secret Towers, a lot of people would love to be able to change their wizard name, like even if they're using their like wizard NFT. That wizard comes with a name, but people would like to change that name. I don't know if that's on the list of new features that'll be available eventually. But I'm basically asking a two-part thing. One, where can people submit requests for features? And two, will they be able to change their name?
I think right now, the first part, features request. Right now, our roadmap is looking very tight. So that will have to wait until we have like probably in the beta version of it, right? Where the dust has settled a little bit in what we consider to be like essential features for the game. Which are, for example, dungeons, player storage, player trading, just to name a few. That's the first part of the answer. Then the second one is which is an ongoing question for us on the design side, and it's how do I connect a wizard to a character in game, right? Right now, in this very simple version, it's just you can change the look of your character, but eventually what we want is to find a way that better connects a wizard to your character in-game lore-wise. But that's still up in the air. There's still like different possibilities. We're still evaluating what the best way to do it. So I cannot give you like a straightforward answer that like this is gonna work like this in the final game.
Someone has another question, which is, how can I break an item and turn it into mana?
So, like I mentioned before, once you complete the Cockatrice quest, you can go to the temple, which is a building that is, I'm going to say north of the encampment where you start. And you can go there, and there's like a grid, and you can place items in the grid. There's like a couple of UX issues that are not as comfortable as I would like them to be in this alpha version. But basically, the idea is that you fill the grid with items, and then you claim mana from them. And the more you fill out the grid, the bigger the bonus you get for that.
Cool.
Okay, I have a big question. I'm surprised we haven't talked about it yet. One big feature of this game is Landsale. Can you tell us how many plots will be available, how much they'll be, just anything about the Landsale?
Okay, so about the land sale, we're still evaluating what the amount of land will offer to begin with, right? Because the map will be ever expanding. So what we don't want is to over allocate land. So when the game releases, it's like you have to wait 2 years to get your plot, right? Like that wouldn't be the best idea. And like that's the best answer that I can give you, right? Like we're still figuring out what it is.
Yep. That makes sense to me. Yeah, it's a
Yep.
good idea.
I saw another fun thing in the Secret Tower that I didn't know. Is this game available on mobile? Can you play it on mobile?
On a very experimental version at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, some people are pulling it up on their phones.
It's not optimized yet, but because you can play it in the browser. I mean, if you have a mobile browser.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, when I was talking to some of the other Bisonic devs, they said, we've almost got it working on mobile, but we're not ready to talk about it yet because it's still very buggy. So I think in terms of like a user who wants to play the game, I think if you open it on your mobile browser, it's at your own risk. It doesn't really quite work. If you are looking at the future, what the future might hold, I mean, this idea that kind of we have this entire MMO, which you can play in your pocket anywhere you are, being free to play, is very, very exciting, right? This idea that you might be able to have a PWA, it circumvents the traditional app stores because it's a crypto game, but it's still an MMO and you can play it on your phone is just like, I get very, very excited about that idea. I mean, I've heard that like the battles are really fun on mobile, and you can already see that the UI is sort of designed to support that sort of ergonomics. And so, I mean, the really one of our goals with this project has been to bring people from Web 2 from the outside into Web 3, right? You can join, you can sign up, you can play this game without ever having a wallet before. And then now, as you play the game and you earn items, you realize, oh, hey, these are worth something. Like there's a market here. And now you get to be onboarded into Web 3 on your phone, right? Because now we've even seen this year through Friend Tech, through Words, that like it is feasible to have a wallet on your phone in some capacity. And so to me, I'm just so excited about like the prospect of the amount of people that we'll be able to reach with this game, and I'm just thrilled with how it's going so far.
Thanks. Sorry, I was answering things from the game, so I got that little sidetracked.
I know. You've had such a huge day. I appreciate you like powering through our interrogation.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'm really happy about the game. I think this build really gives you a sense of what it's gonna be like in the future, right? Like, I think that's one of the greatest things. It's that you play this and you say like, oh, I can see the full game, right? With dungeons, with a bunch of things. I don't know. I think it's really exciting. Like you can see the mounts, the player trading, the grouping up.
It sets the tone. It sets the tone. It totally sets the tone. You understand the feel. And man, for me, it kind of just, and again, I'm not the biggest MMO player, but as someone who played like Zelda and a bunch of like top down, maybe like sort of the seeds of MMOs, like it just brings me back to like being a kid. And that's another thing that like I feel like this game is just another thing that we bolted on to Forgotten Runes, that there's just this nostalgia factor. and there's just something kind and interesting and fun and sort of a lot of discovery happening. It's really awesome. I remember talking about that with Alexis Ohanian when we were, doing the race for the land in the first place, and he really sort of commented on that. So it's nice to start to see us be able to continue to deliver this sort of nostalgic element.
Yeah. And
For
also, oh, go ahead.
Good.
The and really, like, for our cult, the Discord has been home base, and I don't think that ever really like disappears at all. But the mode of Discord is this text feed, right? And whereas what we saw with the Halloween event and what we'll see here with the Runiverse game, there's just something special about like seeing everyone in their avatars within like kind of like a 2D or 3D space, like within like spatial experience. And so really the only activity that you've been able to do together in the cult is like well, I don't want to minimize it, right? But like we trade together and we like create art together, and this is just like another piece of the tripod, is that you're able to like play together, go on quests, and it's not this like PvP, like, oh, you're selling against the floor or whatever. We're actually like collaborating together to kind of create these new items and build the relationships that way. So it's just, I can totally see us doing more events like holiday events or like special events like within the Runiverse game now, because we'll have this persistent platform. So yeah, I'm just very excited about all of it.
Everything is just coming together so nicely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just feel like really one of the things that when I think back to the mint, the first like month, which is when we reached out to Bisonic to help build this game, it just felt like a pipe dream, and it was just like, oh, in my wildest dreams we would create a Forgotten Runiverse game, and here it is today.
This morning, Bear was saying that he's not typically an MMO player, and he wanted to know if is it too late to pivot this game into a first-person shooter?
Tanillo, can you do something?
He wants wizards with guns.
Tanillo, that will be our next game. We'll do like wizard themed CS:GO. We have the models. It's probably a lot easier to build that game than the game you're building. Is that true or false?
It's probably Jitsi.
No, Tanillo knows. Tell me, is that easier to do that?
I think it's probably easier. Yes.
Okay, let's pivot.
But actually, there's a game called Wizards with Guns, or Wizard with a Gun, and the art style is great, and for me, it's very reminiscent of the Forgotten Runiverse, or the Forgotten Runes, like of the IP. Like, you should check it out.
Okay.
What is it called? What is it called? A wizard with a gun?
Or Wizards with Guns, something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
it's like Wizard with a Gun. Yeah. There's also there's Wizardium, which is a first-person shooter that's kind of like, it's like Doom, so it has like that kind of, it's like pixel art but overlaid with like 3D. There's that. That's also pretty cool. We can check.
I don't give a shit about them. I want our own FPS. That's what we're doing next.
You
mark my words. 2 years from now, we will come out with an FPS.
Let's spin up the Unity editor. Unreal Engine, and let's just create it from a template. There we go.
We would be, by the way, building some fun, like, smaller mini games in UEFN, the Unreal Fortnite editor, but you can't. They're not letting you use custom skins. So what's the point? Can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a few more questions from the Secret Tower. Critical is asking, how can we get updates on how many lands and gifts have been minted, just to see where it's all at? Would that just be like on OpenSea? Like look what's minted, or is there a better way to do that?
For the plots, it's on our side, because the plots are in-game items that guaranteed you the spot on the claimed list, right?
Maybe Maddow could sort of write like a summary at the end of every day, or maybe just at the end of the week of what was won. Yeah.
Our plan is to release at end of the day results, right? At a certain time every day, we release an update of how the allocation is coming along.
Man, some people are getting so far in the game already. Like SPZ, I have no idea where you're at, but that screenshot is beautiful. And I'm seeing people like mint really interesting equipment and weapons and stuff. I'm like I'm stuck on level 4 still.
Oh, you're only level 4?
I think
Yeah,
I'm
what are
still
you?
level 1. I haven't made it through the tutorial.
I'm like level 13 or 14. I
I
can't
can't find
remember.
Alfred. What's his name? I can't find him.
Alberto.
Alberto.
Come on, Dotta.
He's sick. He's sipping on a cup of coffee.
Alberto or me?
No, Alberto is. Look for the guy with the coffee mug.
By the way, I'm about to get a cup of coffee. I want coffee so bad now. Alberto totally inspired me.
Yeah. Another question I saw, and I think this has been answered, but it's okay to ask it again. The rings, will they continue to have an effect after this week?
After this week, they definitely earn you rewards. Like unique rewards. Like they are attached to a unique set of cosmetics that are like the Watchers, right? There's like an important part of the lore that is the Watchers, which are the ring owners. So they get like these unique cosmetics, but it's still undecided if they're gonna get additional benefits once we release.
I will raise my hand and say it would be great to have them be have additional benefits and have people hold them on. I think it's healthy tokenomics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to promise anything, right? Because the
Yeah.
rings were very tied to the Eve of Memory event. But I think the fact that it marks them as an early supporter of the game for us is important, right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely something there that is valuable to us.
It's hard to balance things.
Yep. Okay. Well, we're almost out of time. It's been Tanila. Thanks so much for coming on. I know it's been a huge day for you. If people still have questions about the game, just put them in the secret tower. There's lots of people who can also answer questions. Me, Maddow, Dota Bear, Jitsy's pretty good. But yeah, anything else, Tanila?
No, there was something that when we were talking about MMOs and stuff, there's something that I really like about the game and where it's going, and it's that I played Final Fantasy 13 for a while. I really enjoyed it, but when I came back, the game was so overwhelming that it dropped me. It was like, this is too complicated, and I feel like like many modern MMOs suffer from overcomplication of mechanics. And I think
Right.
we strike a good balance between something that has a lot of depth, but like is simple enough so that like, oh, you left for 2 months and you come back, it's like pretty straightforward, right? But like, there's a lot of depth, and that's something that I really like of what we're building.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Well, speaking of other balancing economies, we are still working on Goblintown. The game is progressing day by day. Sumis from Pixel Shop just sent me a new round of Goblin Bosses art, and they are looking fantastic. We are working on. I'm working on running some more simulations on the economy. We've also got a proposal in front of Ape DAO. We've had some kind of like roundabouts with them. Really, one of the things is the original proposal that we sent to them. We said we would airdrop to apes, codas, and mutants. And one of the things that was pointed out to us was that this proposal was for ApeCoin DAO, not for Yuga assets. And so they said, you should. We talked to like Machi and a few other big holders, and they said you need to sweeten the deal for ApeCoin holders. And so we went the other way. I actually took a page from the Curve Wars, and Bear and I decided, hey, what if we actually like pay the people who vote in our favor? And we actually resubmitted the proposal and
I
said,
thought it was genius.
yeah, what if like if you vote for us, we'll pay you 30% of the mint, and we'll also give you an airdrop. I and it wasn't like, I think that it wasn't exactly well received insofar, but not like in a negative way, just in like people were like, wait a minute, is that even fair? Like, are you allowed to like bribe the voters to vote for your proposal? And so one of the things I think we've actually settled on there is we'll probably end up giving some of the revenue back to the ApeCoin DAO. And then we'll probably airdrop to all the voters, regardless of which direction they vote for us. So whatever, that's a bit of the like internal politicking that it takes to get into a DAO. And so we're going to let the Runiverse event bake for a little bit, but then I think Goblintown is I won't say up next, but it's still in the works and coming up soon. Another thing on DAOs, I mean, unless you want to talk more about Goblintown, Bear.
No. The only thing I'd end with Goblintown is it doesn't really matter if the ApeCoin DAO says yes or no. The game is being finished, and there's a
the show will
couple
go
other
on.
really the show will go on. It's like we weren't even planning. They asked us to bring it to them, so we're going through that. We'll go through with what we said we would do. But there's a bunch of other options on how to push this game out, whether that's independently on other chains or otherwise. So just keep an eye out.
That's right. Yeah, I think that like the main reason to go with sort of, let's call it a sponsor or something, right? Like there are other chains or even other groups that sort of have a token that they are like willing to invest for people to play in their ecosystem, right? I think if we were to just do Goblintown through a mint, then like we're not, what we're asking for apes is $500,000 for the prize pool. Like I really don't see a scenario where we do a mint and then we just turn around and sort of like are able to use $500,000 for the prize pool. And so I think that being able to work with ApeDAO, it's good promotion for them, it's good for their ecosystem. But there might be a couple other players that we're talking to that we do something similar. So if you see that, don't be surprised. But really, we're just trying to finish the game. I think if the market is favorable, there's no reason not to just like go it alone and mint it, right? Like that's the default option once we have it finished. Also for DAOs, we have 4 new folks voted into our House of Wizards DAO. It was a really, really close race, but yeah, we've got
So exciting.
Yeah, so exciting. But the new folks who were voted in are Acid, Shark Child, Tad, and Sharon. So congratulations. I mean, really everyone on that list was just so good. I mean, I think I would have been happy for anyone on that list to come, and it's always hard when because I think that like the 5th place was maybe DeFi. I didn't see the final numbers, and he was like very, very close. So I think, but yeah, those are the 4 who we've all picked. So I think what's happening right now is they all need to go through a really a KYC process, basically. And that's all in motion. Reptar is our scribe, and he's been putting that together to have them KYC, so that way we know their real names. They can join and then they can join as signers. And then once we have a full council of 9 signers in place, then we can sort of start proposals and move on from there. So, I think one of the biggest concerns with the DAO really is just around this idea of funding, right? So the DAO received funding through the Forgotten Babies, and it received funding through the Beasts, and then some other sources as well. But I think those were the 2 major ones. And between the legal expenses to setting up the DAO, which were quite substantial, and then the DAO split, I believe, somewhere around half of its holdings to USDC, and then ETH has come down probably a good 30 or 40% from where it was. So, I think thinking about projects that might generate some revenue for the DAO or something we all should be thinking about. We have a lot of creative people, and we're making art every day that we all love to share and buy and sell from one another. So I think the DAO needs sort of that a new injection, and whatever. Elf and Bear and I have our own ideas on what we might do for the DAO, but of course, it's a community effort to make that happen. So that's our DAO. I mean, I'm very, very excited to get it all up and running. It's been a long time coming as well.
All right, let's do the Cult Content Chronicle. What do you say?
Let's do it.
It is week 42 of the Cult Content Chronicle, compiled by
the illustrious Tanya Dombio.
Exactly. All right. Number 1, we've got a really fun piece by Leaf Dojang Music. Shared some vibey music with a music video. Perfect for a chill day working on your magic potions or playing the Runiverse game. Man, speaking of Runiverse game, I think the music is pretty good too. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to whoever made the music for that game. And then number 2, Shadow Gains Guild. It looks like they're working on something. We don't know what, I don't think, but they're sharing work in progress. And then Super Simplin made a commission for Colorman Capital, like a chubby version of his wizard. It's pretty cute. My favorite Shield Maiden, Joan Danger, is back with a fresh new commission by Kuman's art. And then Meeple Dad is continuing to work on his Lego Secret Tower. Meeple Dad, this looks like maybe one of the most epic Lego projects I've ever seen. I can't imagine what it's going to look like when it's done, because it looks to me like you're doing the interior as well as the exterior. Number 6, we've got Sweetbread, who did a really fun piece of Magus Devon. Very nice. And then Daniela Illustra is shared some progress on a soul illustration. In this particular video, it looks to me like she's drawing the Supreme Lich Emperor. Jitsi shared some really fun kobold art. One of them is a cool cat in a kobold mix. I'm not really sure what the other one is. It's like maybe an Azuki bean.
Yeah, I think it's an Azuki bean kobold. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I
Very
don't
cool.
know who drew these, but if I had to guess, I would guess Wise Sam.
That is who I would guess as well. And then Dilo generated a beautiful piece of his wizard. Dilo, you actually have one of my favorite wizards. I love the blue face wizards with the red beard. They're so cool. I wish I had one.
They're so rare. I sometimes forget they even exist.
Yeah, they're so cool. And then Justin, I've been loving your streams. Justin posted a video opening a pack of runes TCG.
Yo.
Yeah, Justin, do you want to? Did you get some pull some good cards that time?
Yo, that was like I saw Runes TCG and I was like, oh man, I like Wizards. I like trading card games, and I definitely like playing like traditional board styles. And I saw the collaboration with like Mech and all the amazing artists, and I was like, oh, I'm buying that right now. How do I bridge over to How do I bridge over to Polygon? And I was like, oh my god, yo. So I picked up yeah, that was a thick pack. I was pretty juiced for that. Very exciting.
Oh yeah. And then, speaking of Runes TCG, there is a Runes Rumble tournament starting soon. You can sign up at the Runes TCG Twitter page. And then Hin Boyd created a fun image, basically riding a jet ski. Are jet skis allowed in the Black Sands races? I don't know, but Hin Boyd's going to ride one.
Ooh, Black Water Summer Races.
Yeah. Bear, weren't you supposed to get us a jet ski for our NYC party 2 years ago?
You didn't get to ride on it?
Oh, damn it.
I went all the way up to Hudson.
All right, I guess I missed it. And then Magic Monday News live from the Obsidian Tower. The special guest was Other Guide Pro. The treat of the week was the pumpkin. And then Tabitha has been making some really fun pixel art. They made one of Wizard fighting the cockatrice. And Tabitha's rat Blimpy looks like a half chicken, half rat. It's pretty cute. And I think that's it for the Content Chronicle. Anything else, guys?
No.
I don't know. Pretty packed show today.
Yeah, I just feel like an important message that needs to get out is this idea that like anyone can play the Runiverse game, right? You don't need a wallet. You don't need a wizard. You could just need to have some time. So
share it with everybody you know.
Yeah,
it's a website. Just copy and paste it. Text it to all your contacts. They may like it.
Yep, exactly. All right, let me see if I can find the music in this thing, since I can't use copyright music anymore. let's see. I don't know how to play the music.
You can just sing.
Okay, yeah, Dotta, you sing.
No, let's just get some copyrighted music. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get a banger.
Dotta's gonna play it, and he's gonna get our video